People who only clean their house right before they have company over. How clean/dirty is your house 9 months into the pandemic? I usually spend hours cleaning every time my GF is coming over so that my place looks presentable. Yesterday she came to visit suddenly without warning and was shocked when I didn't want her to come in. Don't be ashamed. Your place is always so messy when I come to visit anyways, and I've never judged you. And that's the day I found out that my idea of clean was still messy for my GF. RIP my life. Not too bad. People are coming over. We have to clean. Has morphed into our dust bunnies are now dust giant cave bears. And there are even crumbs on the floor of the bathroom. Let's clean this shithole up. Apostrophe. Same for me. I have a level of clean I'm comfortable with. It just usually tends to be about one load of dishes more than others. But damn, there comes a point where even a slob's gotta have a code to follow. It could be better. I'm not living in filth. But it's cluttery in my bedroom and the floors aren't as clean as I like them to be. I first read that as cutlery and thought, yeah, if you are leaving knives and forks around, it is messy. It actually got covered. So it's currently a nightmare since we are positive. That means one income since I work remotely and my husband does not. And both kids doing home learning. The exhaustion of trying to juggle all of these sucked when we were well. Now my husband has been laid up for 2 weeks. I was laid up for 1. Fortunately I bought masses of snacks so the kids can feed themselves. But we are looking at no clean towels or dishes here in a day or so. I'm behind at work. Kids' grades have dropped. Ugh. Just makes me want to hide under the covers. It is never too early to have the kids start doing dishes. Seriously. You can avoid the sharp knives and the cast iron. But they can and should be washing their dishes and glasses as soon as possible. If you have a dishwasher, they can fill it pretty handily. It's like Tetris, with some extra rules. But even scrubbing out their bowls after cereal, and their plates after lunch and dinner would be a huge lift for you. They won't be perfect at first, but they won't do them at all later on if you're willing to let them do very little when you really need the help. Season 1 of Hoarders. I think I'm a little bit of a hoarder to lol. So much trash in my room. Oh yeah, it's not great hatter, we clean it so it never looks like a hoarder house and whatnot. Actually the house is pretty clean, it's just my computer room that looks like a complete disaster. It looks okay. Just don't open the closet next to the stairs. Gross. And I've gotten super lazy and depressed, so I haven't really cared. But I hired Molly maids to come clean next week for $150 and I will be getting my money's worth. I wish I could get someone to tidy up my place. I'm sick and I just can't do it myself right now. But then I'm like, they won't know what I want to keep or throw away and stuff like that. I have to do it myself. Fairly clean since we have nowhere to be. The only mountain that is painstaking to get over is laundry. The bane of my existence. Dishes are a close second, but we gotta eat. This is my girlfriend. I was always tidy as a bachelor, but since she moved in, it's become a bit of a mess. The kitchen counter is constantly covered with dirty dishes. Our bedroom has mounds of her clothing all over it. Our pantry is literally just a pile of dry goods under our dining room table. My GF can form a mountain of clothes on her side of the bed in a matter of hours after cleaning it all up. I have no idea how, but it's all of a sudden there and stays there for weeks. Boggles my mind. Edit. Not to mention a good chunk of them are my clothes she wears all the time. We end up cleaning mostly my clothes that I never wore, lol. My wife and I have been bending over backwards to keep it clean, but with the kids at home instead of school, our house can go from clean and tidy to utter chaos in the blink of an eye. We've got 2 teenage boys who just leave a trail of destruction wherever they go, and their little sister isn't much better. To be fair, it's really grinding me down, and I'm starting to look at boarding schools as an option, or giving them up for adoption. Wait, no, I have a 2 years old and a 4 years old. And I was living with what I now see is apparently the delusion that when they got older, the trail of destruction would lessen. Alas. Open bracket. Like student accommodation the morning after a party, roughly. I'm normally pretty good with everything except vacuuming. I hoovered the living room for the first time in too long last week, and the exertion just made my vacuum cleaner give up the ghost entirely. Because I live alone, and I don't really use my living room, except when I've got company over. The vacuum cleaner is still there, dead as a doornail, in the middle of a half vacuum drug, until I can pull together enough of a desire to deal with its bullshit. More like, why bother putting away things where they belong? I might use it next day or week or month. Whole house is a shithole. Has been since long before COVID. Got 2 kids that make all sorts of messes. By the time the wife or I get off work, we are too exhausted to clean or get them to help clean. Everything is everywhere. Cleaner than before. I'm not working, and I went through a pretty long phase where I did nothing. Now though, it's good. House is clean, and I feel better. Any tips? I guess just do something. Start small, make the bed, take shower, do laundry, gather trash. I find that once I start moving, I keep moving. Good luck to you. I have to turn on a light to walk to the bathroom without tripping. Let me just say, nobody cleans the house faster than a single guy who might get laid. I'd say my house is a rest show, but that would just be insulting to us. There's a smoothie bottle behind me that's about 4 months old, and I'm scared to touch it. Lol, I wouldn't say filthy at all. Just super disorganized. I have dust on my dirt. Me too. What do you do about that? A vacuum sucks both up. If I could be bothered to get the vacuum out. If I could be bothered to move the stuff that is blocking getting the vacuum out. If I could be bothered to move the stuff that is blocking the stuff that is blocking getting the vacuum out. How about another option? Not good. I have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and OCD. I work full-time as my son's carer, and I'm also in cosmetology school full-time. My husband has depression and anxiety, probably more, but these are the only 2 confirmed diagnoses. He works from home full-time in tech support. We have a 9-year-old with Down syndrome that has been distant learning all year long, and a 6-year-old whose optimism is never ending despite us homeschooling her this year on top of everything. She's behind a bit, but she has gotten so good at writing her name. My son and I are extremely high risk. We've been in lockdown since March. Our house isn't filthy, but it's cluttered. Laundry hasn't been fully done in ages, and only the main areas of the floors have been cleaned in months. The Christmas tree is staring at me as I write this. At the very best, it is functional. My husband and I's bedroom on the other hand is a sea of stuffed animals, confiscated toys, laundry, doll heads, and my half-assed quarantine hobbies. This is fine. It comes and goes. It's definitely easier to let things get out of hand, since we were always having people over prior to the pandemic and now we are not. It's a source of sadness in a way, like well it's not, like I can see my friends so why bother cleaning it up. But on the other hand, we are not having people coming and going like we used to, so a lot of the mess is more manageable. Disaster. My wife is almost like a hoarder. I'm almost as bad. The dog hair clumps are starting to develop sentience. I actually took a week off of work to clean up my apartment. Sink full of dishes. Computer desk covered in crumbs. Most of my clothes needed washed. You get the idea. I can spread the workload out, so I can still enjoy the fact I took work off. Cleaner than normal, because I saved 10 HRS/week by not commuting. We said F it and just moved. So clean. What else is there to do? Every dish washed. Laundry done. Shelves dusted. Yeah. My house is nearly spotless. Cleaning is below working and socializing on my priority list because no one except my boyfriend ever comes over anyway. So it rarely got done above a level of boyfriend clean. But now there's not as much time spent with my friends, driving to meet my friends across the city, or even grocery shopping, because I've started to do pickup, so I can manage to clean my kitchen once a week. I live alone. It's getting pretty bad. We had someone come clean it, because it was a biohazard.